So I start. We can wing it.
Don't wing it, Matt.
Always wing it.
Okay, fine.
You recording?
No.
Oh, that'd have been a good bit to put at the start.
Yeah, I am recording.
Oh, are you?
Even better now, because now you look like a fool.
Put that bit at the start.
A fool,
where we're
I
like,
say.
Let's wing it. I was going to say we could re-record the bit where I say let's wing it, but it's like the opposite of winging it.
That is
Re-recording a gimmick about winging it.
Yeah. That's in poor taste. It's in poor taste.
Do you want anything from the shop?
Cornetto.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
That's my secret, Cat.
I'm a Jedi.
I'm Batman.
Yes.
It feels really nostalgic to me. Is
That's
it too
the
nostalgic?
point.
Yeah,
That's-
Are people gonna like it?
Fuck 'em.
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
Why so serious?
The first rule of Fight Club is...
Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
It's tricky like that, Jesus.
Life, finds a way.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
You talking to me?
What do they call it?
They call it Royale with cheese.
It's spicy. You like spicy?
No.
It's not so spicy. Come on.
This, my friend, is a pint. It comes in pints?
I'm getting one.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Real Film Podcast, a podcast where two guys, me and Rob, we talk about films and stuff. Is that a good explanation for the podcast?
Yeah, we jazzed it up a little bit, but...
It was
Yeah.
good, wasn't it? We also
it's
talk
fine.
about other things occasionally, like games, and
Books.
sometimes books and comics
Pop
and
culture.
stuff. Yeah, we do that. You all right, Rob?
Yeah,
This is our
good.
casual chat time.
Is this an agenda?
Yeah, I have it
Make
down.
small talk for 37 seconds.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Hump day, am I right?
It's tomorrow, Matt.
I know, yeah, it's only Tuesday. It feels like hump day already.
It does a bit, to be honest.
Oh, you've had a tough week.
Yeah, I have actually. Very busy.
All them test tubes.
Very busy. All that measuring out stuff.
Those
Yeah.
pipettes won't do themselves.
No, they won't. They will not.
Do you want to talk about some news?
Yeah, go for it.
What's been going on in the news? What's been going on in the movie news? Well, that actor you like's done another thing. There's a few more reboots and a sequel too. And that other guy got caught with some cocaine. It's the news.
So there's a new Han Solo trailer. Solo, the Star Wars story about a man who
Why don't you just call it
we
Going
already
Solo? That'd be so
know
much cooler.
about. Going Solo.
Yeah. just go full stupid with it.
Yeah, maybe they should have done. I would have liked it more. I did not. I've never felt for this film. I felt less for this film after the first trailer, and I feel even less for this film after this new trailer. What did you think?
I don't care for this. I'm going to write an article for the website basically saying why Star Wars is Han Solo's origin story.
Because it is.
Like,
because he's like young in it.
He's
and
young in it. Like, I'm pretty sure, I don't know how old Harrison Ford was in that. Was he about 30?
Yeah, he was about 30. Because it's
Old
weird. 'Cause Carrie
Ehrenreich.
Fisher's like 19. They had an
Yeah.
affair.
Old and
But-
Ehrenreich can't be far off 30. Like,
I will Google this now.
I know,
and
like,
find this out.
I kind of, when I first heard about it, I thought they might be doing like an Uncharted. Is it Uncharted 4 where you get to play as the kid? Or
Yeah.
3? There's one of the Uncharted games you get to play as Nate as a kid.
I would Google this if I knew how to spell his name.
So I thought that could be kind of cool. But then when it's like, there's a guy playing him literally like 2 years before we see him in Star Wars, what is the point?
Yeah, there's not much point.
I don't
And, like,
care
it's all-
how he became a scoundrel. Like, all I need to know is he's a scoundrel and then he turns into a good guy. That's the arc.
He's
it doesn't
28
matter.
years old.
Yeah, so 2 years younger than I assume Harrison Ford was, roughly.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
it is.
I kind of think it looks fun. It looks kind of.
I don't even think it looks that. I just think it looks lame.
I think like
I think it looks nice. The
yeah,
aesthetic
it does look
looks
nice, aesthetic, but then Rogue One also looked nice. It's going to be empty and probably fine, like Rogue One was.
Yeah, even like Donald Glover didn't do anything for me.
He does sound quite a lot like Billy D though.
He does, but I don't know. It's just like
It's weird, like facial hair. And, like, why have they tried to make him?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Just don't like it. I'm not pumped for this film at all.
Not pumped.
No, at least Rogue One, I was digging.
I was
that.
quite excited for that actually, and then
Yeah.
So I feel like I might find this is okay because I really don't want it to be a film, and it's unnecessary.
Yeah, it's just poor in it. It's poor stuff.
Especially like, it's weird that they've gone so like with the Star Wars films. I was talking to Paul about this on Facebook the other day.
Do you still listen, Paul?
Yeah, but where are you?
Yeah, where are your comments?
Give me some love. Basically saying that it's weird with like these spin-off films like Rogue One, Han Solo. They look like they're playing it really, really safe, and just being like, "Oh, this is what you like, isn't it? This is what you like. Have more of that. Have more Han Solo because he's everyone's favorite character. Have more, these kind of just symbols of Star Wars. Just eat that up." And then like with Episode 8, they just let Rian Johnson go totally off piece and do whatever he wants and totally mix it up. It seems weird that they wouldn't, if they were going to do one thing where they keep it safe, they wouldn't do that with the main trilogy.
Yeah, I don't.
And
really
they're doing
understand.
that instead with the spin-offs, which just seem, I don't.
Doesn't
This
make
don't
much
interest
sense.
me. Like, I'm really excited for Rian Johnson's trilogy and whatever Jon Favreau's doing, and the Game of Thrones guys. They're doing something as well, aren't they? So
Yeah.
I'm kind of more excited to see what they do really than like no one. We don't. Why is there a Han Solo film? It's totally
because he's cool.
it's so
People love a
irrelevant.
cool guy.
It's so irrelevant.
Yeah.
Even like
Chewie's 190.
like even the prequels, you can see the story from Anakin to Darth Vader is an interesting, or could be an interesting story of like how the guy who's supposed to be the hero to bring balance to the Force, whatever, becomes a bad guy. That could have been interesting, but how a kid becomes a smuggler is like, well, who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, for me, that's what he always is.
Yeah, that's him, isn't
and
it?
then he
Yeah.
becomes the general and the hero. Like
Yeah.
I don't need another film with him going from something to be a smuggler.
So there is one line in it that I kind of like where it says, "I've got a good feeling about this."
Oh yeah, it's quite funny, but
I didn't quite like that.
he doesn't look good though, does he? Like
No,
as-
it doesn't. His hair looks weird.
it's kind of like I would kind of prefer him not be doing any sort of impression.
Is he trying to do an impression?
I don't know.
understand.
Well, that's what I mean. It feels like he is, but it's a really bad one, and I just feel don't go anywhere near it if
Who is the German guy who played Harrison Ford in the film? He played like a young version of Harrison Ford in the same film.
Who did?
There's a guy, an actor who did it,
Oh,
and he's
okay.
really good at doing like a Harrison Ford impression. I feel like just get him in.
Yeah, like Harrison Ford's quite an easy person to impersonate as well. So
Mark Hamill does it pretty well.
yeah,
Get
get
him
Mark
on it.
Hamill, play young Solo, CGI, get that age
You
off
want to
him.
CG him, talking
Yeah.
it, just talking it the whole way.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Whole
good. Or
film.
get Harrison Ford to play himself.
Yeah,
but then
exactly.
just make a young version of him.
Just mix his voice up a bit, make him sound younger like it did with James Earl Jones. That works out fine in Rogue
No,
One.
it's like,
didn't
he didn't sound like he was about to die.
it? Yeah.
He's not died, has he?
No, I don't think so. He might have done by the time this is released.
Who knows? Predicted it. James Earl Jones. Do you reckon you do that? What, go up to like Betfred and be like,
No, I don't think
James Earl
can you? Because then you could just kill them and get rich.
true, I suppose. But then I suppose with Hollywood they'd be like, do you think he's going to die or do you think he's a pedo? Like, and then you kind of do one of those bets where you can bet on both and
Yeah.
get extra and stuff. If they die and then become a pedo, it's all fine.
Kind of, yeah. People kind of forget if you die and then become a pedo.
Yeah, it's the dignified way to do it, obviously.
Lesson for all of us there.
Speaking of old people, who's not a pedo, have you heard
As
about
we know of.
that we know of?
It always
after
comes
reading
out.
some of the
It
stuff,
always
actually,
comes out.
Yeah, reading more stuff about it, actually, I'd be less surprised now. But have you heard about all this stuff with Stan Lee and this? Did you watch this video that you put on?
Is this one where I've heard? Is this one where he says like, "I'm fine, don't worry about me"? Fuck
Yeah,
off.
he's like, I'm fine. I've got a great relationship with my daughter, even though it's very well documented that he doesn't because she's a little spoilt brat, and him and his wife had to make like a special trust so that she only got a certain amount of money at any one time, because otherwise she'd just spend it all and bankrupt herself.
Just like, let her do that then.
It's so weird. It's like him going, "They're my best friends. I love these guys." That piece of paper saying all that stuff, because this lawyer's basically come out saying, "Here's something that Stanley signed saying that all these people were taking advantage of him, and trying to get hold of his money and his assets and everything. And Stanley's not denied that he signed it, but he's saying it's very misleading. But the lawyers published it all, and the lawyers come out and said, I went through every single line with Stanley before he signed it, so I don't understand why he's now saying none of it's true.
So what did Stanley sign?
He signed this document saying his daughter and all these people that are basically manage his life, like all social engagements and everything, are taking advantage of him to try and get hold of his money and his assets and his like the rights to his properties when he dies and stuff like that. So this kind of came out, and then Stanley did this video. Well, his mate, who's been accused, filmed Stanley doing this video going, I'm fine. I don't know why these things are coming out. And it is quite a sad video, but it's really hard to judge whether
it's right. Yeah,
he's been forced to do it, or because you forget he's like 95.
He is,
like even if he's still all there, he's gonna have moments surely where he's more easily able to be manipulated and stuff like that. And but then I'm reading more into it.
Sign it now, like let alone 95.
And a lot of the people he's been associated over the years are not very nice people.
Yeah.
Like literally people have been like in prison for like domestic abuse and drugs and stuff like that, who are like managing his life and stuff. It kind of makes me prejudge like Stanley as a person, really.
I read I can't remember what it was. There's a book about him and how he made like Marvel comics. He doesn't sound like a nice guy.
No, I don't think. Bully, apparently he's notorious for, just when he's at these events, he'll just say anything that anyone wants him to say because he just wants to be. He's like, yeah, I'll say that for you. I'll do that, like, because he wants to be a bit of a crowd pleaser. But it's a really weird situation. I don't really know what to make of it. Like, I read a few articles on it, and I still I have no idea what's going on here. Like, because even these people that he wrote this thing about or signed this thing about, they're not even all on the same side. Like, they're fighting each other as well. So it's this weird mess of people. And in one respect, you're going, it's horrible because, like, it's either just really stressful for him because it's not the way that it says in this document, or there are just and everyone's jumping on it, or there are these people that are taking advantage of him, or it's a bit of both. And
somewhere in the middle, yeah.
Yeah, who knows what's going on? But it's pretty sad.
It is quite sad.
Yeah, because I don't know. I was going to say he seems like a nice guy. I'm not sure anymore, but
could be a nice guy. He might not be, but either way, don't take advantage of all people.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's the saddest part about it. He's obviously quite old, and he's obviously had a rough year of his wife dying and stuff. So it feels like people are kind of taking advantage of him a little bit. Any other news before we move on to things?
How to Train Dragon 3.
Oh yeah, How to Train Dragon 3.
You mentioned this.
I don't know anything about it, but there was just a headline saying that's something that's happening. So I'm buzzing for that.
Yeah.
How to Train Dragon 1 is awesome. And I went to watch How to Train Your Dragon 2 on my own in the cinema. Don't even care. Don't care one bit. Just, at the back with some sweets. That's fine. In a kid's film.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about some films?
Yeah, let's talk about some films.
What do you want to start with?
We got running order, Matt. We could stick to that if you want.
Start with Annihilation. That's first on this running order.
Let's do that. That's the only one I've written notes about, so...
Cool.
We'll start strong and we'll go out with a whimper.
Yeah.
Can you describe its form?
No.
Start from the beginning.
What do you think I do when you're away?
You think I'm out in the garden pining, looking up at the sky?
Why aren't you here?
I gotta leave a day early.
Your husband's here.
I've not read your notes on this yet. Do you want to? Yeah. Do you want to start, and I'll skim read your notes.
My notes. You can read my review. Actually, they're pretty much the same as my notes.
But why are we doing this podcast then? Just tell people to read that.
Yeah, just read the review.
Just read the link out here. http / www.
Have you heard the way of saying www? It's really funny. It's W. I don't know what it's from, but someone said it on a podcast. It just makes me laugh.
Yeah, that's horrible. I don't like that.
W.
That upsets my
Dots.
ears.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
realfilmreviews.com/annihilation-review.
Oh, right. You actually reading the rest of it out. Oh.
Alex Garland is the writer-director of one of the greatest
Don't just
sci-fi
read it
films
out.
in recent years.
Stop it. This isn't good content.
So this is Alex Garland on the back of Ex Machina, which is one of the greatest sci-fi films of recent years.
Of
all time. Big shout.
Potentially.
Could be. It's probably one of my favourite. I haven't watched all the sci-fi films though. And what's the Spielberg one? Close Encounters. I watched that, which everyone considers like an absolute classic, and I did not like it at all. So there we go. But this is a film. Basically, it's sort of like concept sci-fi, I guess. Rather, like Ex Machina is quite focused on one specific thing, which is AI. Whereas this is very sort of concepts and takes a lot of themes and ideas and jumbles them together and asks a load of questions. It doesn't really give you any answers, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. But it's basically Natalie Portman and a bunch of other ladies. Gina Rodriguez is one of them. I can't remember the rest. Tessa Thompson's another. Who enter this kind of they call it the shimmer, don't they, in the film? It's like this sort of bubble which has surrounded the area where a meteorite crashed. And they enter the shimmer and find loads of weird stuff going on, basically. And that's as much as I'll say without spoiling it. But what's really weird about this is like it obviously got released in the US in cinema by Paramount. It got really good reviews from everyone in the US. All the critics loved it. People were kind of raving about it for a very short period of time. And then it got quite a muted release over here on Netflix because Paramount didn't want to release it. And it just seems really weird. Like, we have this massive fuss about films, you know, like women leads in films and stuff. And you look at like the fuss that was made when Ghostbusters came out, people saying stuff like, this is the film we need right now. And people say that about every film. It's doing my head in because it's such a meaningless statement.
Yeah.
But people make this massive fuss about all these strong women and the hype from like Me Too and stuff and stuff like Black Panther and representation. Like, this is like a massive deal in Hollywood right now, and rightly so. Like, but like a film like Annihilation, which it's not there to kind of, I don't want to say make a point, but they're just these smart, intelligent women. Like, it's the full cast is just women cast, and it's not about, and it's just such a great sort of representation. They're not there because they're a gimmick or for the film to look progressive, like Ghostbusters. Like, these gender swapped films are really irritating me. Just make new content for women. There's no need to just gender swap a film. It's just pointless. And like, I don't understand why people aren't talking about it. One, because it's a great film, and two, because it's an all-female cast in a sci-fi film, which is pretty much unprecedented.
Yeah.
And people are moaning about, why don't we get these films? We never get these films. It's like, we've got one here. No one's talking about it. Do people not want different films with different characters in the leads? I find it quite bizarre that we're not.
I don't really know like what the situation was about it being released only on Netflix, because like, was it a case of Paramount going, we don't want to give this a cinema release, let's see what options we've got, or was it Netflix going, we want that?
From what I've read, it's kind of Paramount bottled it and then offered it to Netflix.
That's mad.
But then again, I don't know though. This is a point, though, isn't it? Like,
would this have done well? I don't think this.
That's what I mean. I don't think it would have done well. Because
No.
I think because it's like it's like concept sci-fi. I've seen like as some of our feedback will go into this. I'm not saying people like answers from films.
Yeah.
And this is not the film for that. People like stories to feel like wrapped up and finished. And this doesn't feel like that, but I don't know. I just feel like for the whole thing that's happened since the whole Harvey Weinstein, it seems so odd that this isn't being mentioned. Because this has got some like really great characters in it, and like I said, they're not gimmicky characters. They're not like, this is the smart woman, or
yeah. Well, they're all smart women.
Exactly, and
that's why
there's a smart women because and they're not treated as women; they're just treated as people, which is bizarre that we can't sort of say. It's bizarre that you kind of most of the time you have to point out the woman instead of just saying that's just a character who just happens to be a woman.
Yeah.
I think someone asked George R. R. Martin's got a good quote about this, and someone said, "How do you write women so well?" And he's like, "Just writing like people, like just normal people,
yeah,
just the same."
It's like, I just write a good character. It just happens to be a lady.
But another thing, like as well as that, like people moan how many superheroes we get a year, and people saying, I'm super fatigued, and we've got like 17 Transformers films or whatever, and however many Avatar sequels, and you get like this film, which is like truly unique and different, and people just don't seem interested in watching it, which is quite sad.
Yeah, but people just want what they want, but they don't want it in a way that like they expect it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you should put that on a t-shirt.
It's like there's a famous quote from not a famous quote, but from like a screenwriter that I can't remember who it is, but it's saying give the audience what they want, but not in the way that they expect it, and which I half agree with, but it's kind of like the audience nowadays is just so dumb and wants to be so passive during a film. I think that's the main issue that a lot of like people have with film. Like, they want it as escapism, and they just want a passive experience of watching something, and that's kind of the end of it, really. And that's why. And I know we're going about La La Land a lot on the podcast, but that's why La La Land probably the audience kind of appreciation of it was so low, was that people went into it with a passive experience of going, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this musical, and probably didn't get much from it. But a film like The Greatest Showman, which is good, but you don't particularly have to be engaged in the film to enjoy it. So you kind of more of a passive experience, just sit back and enjoy the songs and like the spectacle of it and stuff.
Sort of find out with The Last Jedi a bit as well. Like, people going with what they think a film's going to be, and if it's different from that, regardless of whether the film's good or bad, they'll sort of take a dislike to it because certain things happens in ways they didn't want.
Yeah.
Or, The Last Jedi didn't have a lightsaber fight, so therefore it's a bad Star Wars film, or, Yeah,
it's strange. People build up these expectations of what film should be, and that's sad for me. Like I'm involved in film and stuff, so I watch kind of a lot of arty stuff, and I've seen a lot of arty stuff because a lot of my friends are into that kind of thing. And that's not for a lot of people. A lot of people aren't going out there and watch that, but it's sad that people don't broaden the horizons more, because there's some really amazing like films out there and stuff. It's like the same thing with like short films as well. Like, people don't watch short films, but some incredible short films out there. Rather than watching that dog, running around the garden with a stick in its mouth on YouTube or whatever, like, go and watch a 30-second short film. Like, it's like my friend. Actually, we'll link it below. I'll give you the link. My friends just made. Well, a lot of my friends are involved in it. Actually, just made a really powerful one about anxiety and stuff. It's really quite incredible. It's done in a really interestingly visual way. It tells a story in like 2.5 minutes. It's
impressive.
A very impressive film, yeah.
Should we go back to Annihilation, though?
Yeah, let's go back to Annihilation.
So as you can tell, I liked it quite a lot. You can't really talk about it without spoiling, because I went in. I think I watched the first trailer when it came out, like probably about a year ago, 6 months ago, whatever, and then didn't see anything since. So I kind of didn't really know. I kind of knew it's Alex Garland and thought, well, that's all I need to know. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, same.
I'll avoid the trailer. But yeah, I really liked it quite a lot. And it's one of those films as well where I'm still kind of thinking about it now. And I've been writing stuff down, being like, is that what this is about? Or is that what this is?
I was kind of annoyed that, because I watched the first half of it, and then I can't remember why, but I couldn't watch the second half of it, and so I watched it in 2 bits. And I'm really annoyed I didn't watch it all in one like good sitting, because like when I came back for the second half, it kind of took me a little while to get back into it and stuff and get on board again. But no, I really enjoyed it, like, especially the end. Like, by the end, I was completely like hooked again. I was just, it's one of those films that I think, because I watched it in 2 parts, I wasn't grabbed straight away and like looked down my phone for a minute and like missed something. I was like, what's happened there? To like rewind it and stuff. So it's one of those films you got to pay attention to, which I like.
Yeah.
That
like the end as well is basically all visual. There's hardly any.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to look away from there for a second and understand what the hell is happening. I mean, you can barely understand what the hell is happening when you are watching it.
But you're kind of not supposed to. That's kind of the.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a communication error between.
No.
The filmmakers. It's just kind of.
Definitely. Do you want to talk about spoilers then, or?
Yes, do spoilers if you want.
Yeah, because I think it'll be difficult for us to talk about it properly without going into spoilers. Where do you want to start?
The bear.
The bear. The bear's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. That scene was just like, and I'm assuming if you're still here, you've watched the film.
Yeah.
That scene where you sort of see like, so I can't remember whose character is, gets dragged off by this bear, which is kind of mutated, and then the bear comes back, and you can kind of hear her screaming through the bear, but then the bear's also kind of got a bit of a side face of her.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like this film, like people say it's sci-fi, it's almost a horror film though at times.
Yeah,
like, it's just like
body horror,
really
aspects.
horrible, like body horror, which is just so creepy. And I suppose like the whole thing of the shimmer or whatever it is about kind of this, like Natalie Portman's character says at the start, like for the next 2 weeks we're going to be studying cancer cells or something, and like she starts by talking about cell division and cell growth and what happens when that goes out of control, which is cancer. So it's kind of like the whole shimmer's kind of that. It's kind of just this uncontrolled growth of cells and stuff. So it's kind of like merging of DNA and cell types and species, which is sometimes is like really nice to look at, and then other times with this bear it's just vile and quite horrific.
Yeah. It's just a bit crazy, isn't it, really?
It is like visually one of the films where you're just like, this is just mental.
Yeah, I kind of wish it did have a little bit of a bigger budget. I felt like some of the CGI isn't spot on. Like, think if it had that tiny bit higher budget, some of the visuals could have been really stunning.
I can't remember what budget it had. I did check. I think it was about 30 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite impressive that it even got made at all, to be fair, because it's high sci-fi concept on a mid-budget film, which is pretty risky to make, really, which is probably why Paramount bottled it and just went, we'll sell it to Netflix and they'll, we'll probably make our money back on it or whatever.
Around 50 million.
Yeah.
Made 32 at the box office.
Yeah, so it'll probably break even in the end,
with Netflix.
maybe, after Netflix and all that sort of stuff.
What did you think the Shim was about? Like, there's so many different themes and stuff. Like, one of the main themes that I picked up on was self-destruction. Like, there's a bit where, I mean, it's fairly explicitly said by the general lady. I can't remember what her name was. He says everyone's on this mission because they're basically trying to self-destruct. Like, Natalie Portman's character has had an affair and feels like really guilty about it. There's one who's lost a child to leukemia, which is like another cancer link. Didn't the lady herself had cancer, and then Tessa Thompson was an alcoholic. There's like all these people just trying to, like, I guess, feel something or self-destruct. And then there's a great bit at the end where, and then obviously there's Oscar Isaac's character who literally self-destructs by blowing himself up.
Yeah.
And then the way that the life form that learns off Natalie Portman's character how to self-destruct from a human. There's kind of so many different things like that, and it's seeded from like very early on in the film, which is pretty clever.
Yeah, but there's the bit as well where, like, Natalie Portman's come back out the shimmer and she's been interviewed by that guy, and he says to her, like, well, why did you come back and none of the rest of them did? And it was this idea that she just says, like, I can't remember the exact line, but basically saying she's the only one that had anything to come back for.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of them were just, if they came back then and discovered something, maybe their lives would mean something again. And if they didn't, then, the lives were over, and that was fine as well, sort of thing.
What did she come back to, though?
Yeah, I don't know. Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac clone?
Weird clone Oscar Isaac.
There's stuff like that where it's just like, there's a clone of Oscar Isaac. Okay.
But
we don't know what that is.
It's that kind of idea that he is a clone, but is it him? Because if if the being has taken on his exact DNA,
identical twins aren't the same person, Matt. Though.
No, they're not. But
exactly,
that's what I mean. It's an interesting concept of.
It is, yeah.
What they are, like, what are they now?
It's like we're all made of. It's like the weird concept that we're all made of the same things. We're all made of cells.
Yeah.
Like, isn't it? Like the bits where, like, it does a really good job, like where it shows this like plant structure, but it's built like there's a human gene in the plant or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And it like forms the shape of a human, and you're like, oh, we are like kind of just the same stuff, aren't we?
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, because it says about it's got like the cell in it that tells the human body how to grow. So obviously how like because obviously there needs to be something within a human body to tell it this is how the structure of this being needs to be. Like it needs fingers, needs toes, needs this kind of thing in that cell because of these weird within the shimmer all cells and all biological matter is kind of being radiated out and
the Hox genes, Matt.
Yeah, muddled and messed up, and all that kind of stuff. And then this idea that some of that's been put into this plant, so the plant's got this in it, and it goes, okay, that's how I'm supposed to grow.
Yeah, it's really
because
cool.
It has this cell in it, so it grows like human. It's really quite interesting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think happened at the end? What's going on there?
So Natalie Portman goes into this lighthouse, finds this sort of alien thing, which is kind of looks humanoid, but it's obviously kind of mimicking her. So she finds a recording from her husband who's killed herself, and then she convinces the alien to blow itself up. She escapes from the shimmer, and this is kind of all while Oscar Isaac's dying, but then when the alien dies, he is fine again. This is clone Oscar Isaac, and she leaves, and then it's kind of ambiguous at the end. Or I don't know if it's supposed to be ambiguous at the end, whether it's her or not. And I think that's kind of the point. It's like she is her, but she's not the same person she was when she went in, sort of thing.
Yeah, but is that because all the cells and everything being because there's one bit where she takes blood out of herself and then looks it under a microscope and sees that it's kind of altering.
She has that tattoo as well at the end.
Does she not have that at the start?
No, but there's a bit when she's on the boat and she's got like a bruise developing on her arm where the tattoo comes up.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's supposed to be proof. I think that it's the same like person or the same like the same body that went in is the same one that comes out. I think.
You think? Who knows?
I don't know. But that's the point. That's why it's good, because it's all about your own sort of thoughts and your own sort of ideas, isn't it? And Oscar Isaac. I thought Oscar Isaac was really good in this, because for a man as charismatic as he is, to be that uncharismatic is quite impressive.
Yeah, yeah.
With slick back hair.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we've covered all the themes, really, haven't we?
Yeah,
I think the main two for me were like self-destruction and kind of cancer, I guess. Like the whole thing could be seen as a cancer thing, but there's just so much going on. There's so many different ways you could read it. I think it's just really clever.
Yeah, I think people should just watch it for themselves and make kind of, because it could be about a lot of things, and you can take, I think, different things away from it.
Maybe it's what you bring into it. It's what you take away.
Oh, deep. I just like the bit at the end where she's like, "You're not Kane, are you?" And he's just like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe. Who knows?" Like, because it's that thing of he is, but he isn't, because he is his own being. But
does he have memories then? Because he asked her if she's. Oh, he asked if she's her, but I assume he's asking if she's her or the alien.
Yeah, but then obviously I think you see that bit when real Oscar Isaac blows himself up and he says like, Go and find her,
yeah.
So I feel like he's told him about her, maybe.
Yeah. Or maybe he already knows, like...
Or if there is that thing of he does have the memories or whatever.
I need to watch it again because I want to get some more clues.
More things. We did get some feedback about this. Do you want to hear what other people thought about it?
Yeah. Do you want to alternate, Matt?
Yeah. I'll start. Guffers, fan of the show, big fan. Says he's always waiting for it to come out. He's a bit sad, really. He's like, Matt, when's the next podcast coming out? I can't.
Why are you like alienating our own?
Don't know, because he's a loser, so deserves it. He said, thought Annihilation was fantastic. Not the typical delivery of a film of its type, which is becoming what I love about Garland. Think he's becoming the Ridley of his generation, and hopefully we'll see some gold. See more gold, not some gold. We've already seen gold.
Is that Daisy Ridley?
Yeah. He's the Daisy Ridley of his generation.
He's the Daisy Ridley.
That's what Buffs is saying.
It's a weird comparison to make, but...
Yeah. Whatever floats your boat, Guff.
Yeah. But he's good though. He's done like I love how he's kind of worked his way up from writing stuff like that. What's the Danny Boyle one? Is that the one?
Sunshine.
Yeah, he did another one, didn't he? 28 Days Later. Is that Danny Boyle?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Like Dread, and then to do like Ex Machina, and yeah, it was 28 Days Later, and then Annihilation. Like I'm just even after Ex Machina, I was just really excited because you can just tell he's so.
He's got ideas.
Yeah, he's got ideas, hasn't he? And I love people who like write and direct their own things. It just people like that who like have their own vision for what they want to make in a film and just make it exactly as they want to make it. They're not sort of just being hired to do a job sort of thing. Like a Spielberg and Ready Player One.
Exactly, yeah.
Next bit, feedback. 20th Century Geek Pod said Annihilation says also good because I've cut their tweets 2 parts, so spoiler for later. Annihilation was good. Wish I'd been able to see it on the big screen. See, I've not necessarily felt this. I mean, we've sort of discussed that it probably should have been released in cinema because that's the best way to watch a film, as long as there's no dickheads in the screen with you. But a lot of people, when it first came out, said, see it on the biggest screen possible, which is kind of... It's not like a great advert for a film, but I didn't really get a feeling I lost out much by watching it on my TV at home, to be honest.
No, I don't.
I kind of feel like I appreciated not having other people there, like...
Yeah, being annoying.
Yeah.
I think maybe if the budget had been a bit better, then yeah, that may potentially could be so. I mean, like some of the CGI didn't look great on my laptop, so I don't know what it would have looked like on a really, really big screen. But I am obviously a strong
advocate.
Advocate.
That's not the word.
I can't speak.
Definitely
you say
not
the
what I
word.
said.
Yeah, I'm a strong one of those for watching things on the big screen. Definitely. I think the sound actually would have.
Yeah, it sounds really nice. Like I love the bit in the end is really good. Like that sort of horror, sort of creepy sort of tones.
Yeah, I think that would have been quite cool with like surround sound, something like that. Shall I do next?
Yep.
Big Ken Major says Annihilation more satisfying than the book. Yeah, we didn't really mention it's based on a book.
Yeah, I was going to read it and then I didn't.
Did you hear about how he wrote the film?
Didn't he read it and then like just wrote it based on his perceptions or something?
Yeah, he like read it once and then went, that'd be a cool film. Never read the book again and just kind of wrote his version of what he remembered.
Yeah, I kind of feel that's cool though, because then you're making like he's not making the other guy's film, he's making his own film, and I kind of think that's cool.
Yeah, I think it deals with things in such a obscure way as well that it's maybe better to do it that way.
Yeah.
Since, as we were saying, it's kind of you can take your own personal things from it, depending on who you are and what you read into. So kind of maybe it's better for him to do that with the way you wrote the book as well. But yeah, Ken continues. Prior to release, I was wondering if Netflix would commit to the trilogy, but I prefer how the movie ended. Doesn't need a sequel. I agree. I'd hate to see.
I really like the ambiguity of the ending.
Yeah, if it explained too much, I'd be like, I don't need this.
I don't need to tell me what I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Think what I think. I imagine it's not done well enough either commercially.
No,
to get a sequel.
I don't think it will have done now, which is a shame. But there you go.
The Valkyries. Enjoyed Annihilation more than I expected. Still haven't recovered from the bear creature. Yeesh. And very, very looking forward to watching Ghost Stories. That's coming up.
Yeah.
Looking forward to hearing your thoughts.
Well, they're coming up.
Yeah,
Valkyries.
they're coming up. We mentioned the bear thing. That was one of the most creepy things I think I've ever seen on screen.
Yeah, it's really horrible noises. The noise is just chilling.
I love how it wasn't like clear what she was saying as well. It's just like the perfect amount of like you can tell there's a human in there, but you can't really. It's not really proper human.
Yeah. Show me the movie, he says. Annihilation, another solid directorial effort from Garland. A tad overambitious, but engaging all the same. Would have loved to see it on the big screen, though. Someone else looking for the big screen.
Yeah.
It is the best way to watch it.
It is, but yeah.
I can kind of see the tad ambitious part. Said a lot of stuff going on. Like I liked the ambiguity.
Yeah,
I know maybe that goes against some people. with how much it's trying to like capture and bring in and everything.
Yeah,
it's like this isn't a film I'd recommend for everyone to see.
Yeah, no, you've got. I put this on Facebook, and one of my friends from work shared it, and someone commented saying this was, what was the word they used? It was like abysmal or something. It's not abysmal, is it?
It's not. It's that thing again of mistaking objectivity with subjectivity, isn't it?
There's some films which are objectively abysmal.
Yeah, and there are some films that are objectively good, even if you don't like them.
Yeah,
like it's just
we've said this enough times.
We've said
it's fine. We Have a Hulk. Annihilation was very ambitious. It was a fantastic looking film, but possibly thought it was more clever than it actually was. Would love to read the books now, though. Haven't watched Ghost Stories as I'm a massive wimp.
But you loved that bear scene then, didn't you?
Yeah. I didn't think it was trying to be cleverer than it was. I think it was using themes and ambiguity to kind of make you think. I don't think it did a lot of the thinking. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a film that I don't like because it thinks it's clever than it is, and I can't really think of any off the top of my head. But I don't think it was cleverer than it thought it was. I don't think it was, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought it was the right amount of clever for what it was, and I liked it.
Good.
I said in my review, it could have been pretentious and condescending, but it wasn't.
No, I'd agree with that. I'd agree. Jack and the Geek Talk. Annihilation was good, trippy, but predictable. Portman was strong. Well done for guessing it, I suppose. I don't know. I didn't think.
I didn't see where that was going at all.
No, I mean, in some respects, it kind of did, but I think the themes were good enough and the ambiguity was good enough that it didn't make it feel.
But the last scene, you're like, you've got no idea what's going on there.
Yeah.
And like Oscar Isaac being a clone for the whole time. I mean, I didn't have any idea that was happening, so.
No, I didn't either.
I would disagree with that. But
if they found it predictable,
if you found out, if you saw that,
you're very intelligent. Well done.
Probably read the book.
So I knew exactly what was happening.
That was it. That was feedback.
All our listeners, God's sake.
I'm sorry.
What? That's the end of the feedback.
I said that's the end of the feedback. That's the end of the film.
Feedback. Annihilation, good. Go and check it out. If you've got Netflix, you don't have to pay anything. So you've
already paid for it, so you might as well watch it.
Exactly, yeah, nothing to lose.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Professor Philip Goodman. My job is to explain the unexplainable, untangle the truth from the fiction. You don't have to have your life ruled by superstitious fear. Mr. Goodman, everything you have spent a lifetime trying to debunk the supernatural, it's all true. 3 cases I couldn't explain. You go and investigate if you dare. Things are not always as they seem. Tell me about your incident. You don't believe, do you? Hello?
I don't want people looking at me and thinking that I'm mad. Because I know what I saw.
No. Do you believe in evil, Professor?
I didn't. Until that night.
Do you want to talk about a film that we did pay to go and watch?
Let's do that.
I didn't actually pay to go and watch it, but there you go. Perks of the job. We also went to watch Ghost Stories. I think admittedly neither you nor I are traditionally horror fans.
I think I'm like, it sounds bad, but I'm like one of those horror snobs. I just think this is not, and I mean like sort of commercial horror at the moment where it's like Saw, and it's just let's see how disgusting we can be. And I don't know whether it's the way that horror's marketed to me, or whether the way it actually is, because I don't watch it because it's the marketing does not grab me at all. But when I look at horror films, I'm always like, this is just trying to be as scary or as disgusting as possible, and that doesn't interest me at all. Like if you put interesting characters within a horror setting, A Quiet Place, I may or may not talk about that in a little bit in non-spoilery detail, but like A Quiet Place does that like beautifully with great characters in quite a scary setting, and that's why it worked for me. And that's why Ghost Stories works for me. But most horror, when I kind of watch it and it's just people screaming and it's a doll, and I'm like, I don't care because there's no characters there for me to be invested in. But
yeah,
I don't know if that's me. I don't know if that's my snobbery or.
Yeah, I mean, shall I give a bit of a general idea of Ghost Stories? What Ghost Stories is about? I mean, again, this is a hard one to talk about too much without.
We can do a spoiler bit in a bit.
But yeah, it's kind of. I can't remember what the character's called now.
Professor somebody.
Yeah, the main character anyway is basically
Andy Nyman.
Yeah, played by Andy Nyman.
Our best mate.
Our best mate. We are going to do spoiler-free chat on his
request.
On his request, yeah. He's basically one of these guys that goes around sort of debunking
heroes,
like psychics and
absolute heroes.
Yeah. Debunking psychics and hauntings and like explaining them away basically. And he's got this guy who's his hero that used to do it kind of in the 70s, like a really famous guy that used to do it. He's his hero, and this guy gets in touch with him and says, "These are 3 cases that I could never explain away. You go and investigate them and tell me that they're not actual paranormal, supernatural sort of occurrences." So it's kind of these 3 separate cases, and him going to each of them and exploring what's going on there. But there's just so much more going on than that you can't really speak about
without spoilers.
Without spoilers, yeah. But I really enjoyed it. Like I say, I'm not a horror fan, but I think all the actors were really strong.
Like Paul Whitehouse as well. I've never really seen him do much straight stuff.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah, and this kind of done in a really like interesting style as well. These 3 people telling their stories, so flashing between them telling the stories and like the occurrence of the stories and everything, and 3 kind of different styles of horror as well within.
Yeah, I really like that.
Within that,
kind of like classic kind of jump scary.
Yeah, never showing too much and never trying to explain it too much either.
And
just
you can tell that like, they kind of love classic horror as well. Like it feels a bit like old school kind of horror films. Like it has like a playfulness about it. Like it's not.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's quite funny, and it's not taking itself too seriously. And that's another thing where I look at like Saw, I'm like, you're taking this way too seriously, mate. Like just it's a horror film about ghosts and like things that are very, very silly.
Yeah,
and things that when like people say when you just feel something's a bit creepy.
Yeah.
And you kind of like, you just like, as a rational person and not as, a mentalist, you just sort of like laugh it off and be like, it's just wind or whatever.
Yeah.
And you kind of laugh off like paranormal or things that could be misconstrued as paranormal things. And that's kind of what this is a little bit. It's kind of quite like gleefully, and it's kind of aware that it's trying to scare you as well. And I quite like how kind of it makes that connection with the audience.
Yeah.
And it's having quite a lot of fun.
It is, yeah.
I was laughing like when I was scared. I was actually laughing as well. Like,
there's some really funny bits in it. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was really it was so good. It will generally make me go and watch like more horror films now.
Yeah, no, I'm the same.
It'll make me go, do you know what? I'm probably giving some good horror films a bit of a bad rap. But then I also feel like I'll be disappointed because I can't see a lot of them living up to what this film is either.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I could feel like a lot of the films being just a 90-minute version of one of those small little stories and trying to explain it too much. And
that's the thing, yeah.
I think they worked because they were so just short little segments done really, really well.
And they're all like character based as well, which is
they're all character based.
Which is really nice. Yeah, it's not just like what can we put in here just for the sake of it.
Yeah, and then there is a change in the dynamic.
Do you want to talk about the change?
Yeah, should we
go into spoilers? Sorry, Andy Nyman. But your film's that good that we just want to. We need to talk about it.
We want to get it off our chest. We are giving a big warning here. Anyone that wants to see ghost stories without knowing anything, which I suggest you do. So
Yeah, don't even watch the trailer. So I didn't.
I didn't either.
I just heard. I think it's the IGN who said it was really good, and I was like, well, I'm going to see that.
Yeah, that's pretty much right as well. So sorry, Andy, but we're going to talk about spoilers now. Hopefully, everyone's turned off. So it kind of goes from this 3 separate stories. And I was sat there going, I'm enjoying this, but I have no idea how this is all coming together.
Yeah.
I don't know how this is coming to a head.
But
it kind of feels like not that it's not going anywhere, but that I was like, I don't know how this is going to get resolved.
Yeah, is he going to prove them right or wrong, or like?
Yeah, I felt like it. I mean, I trusted it to be cleverer than this, but it kind of felt like it was just going to go to him going, "Oh, do you know what? Yeah, they are all supernatural.
Yeah.
I was wrong all along." Definitely doesn't go there.
Nope.
I just thought that it was exceptionally clever at the end, towards the end, with the way and the little clues it lays throughout as well. Once you know what's going on, like the boys playing with the bird on the beach.
Yeah,
and you just think, oh, that's just a load of kids playing on just messing about on.
There's loads of little bits like that. There's like the doll as well.
Yeah,
There's like a doll that occurs in all 3 things.
Yeah.
Or the girl is the doll in the first one. I think she's wearing the same like yellow dress.
The yellow dress. Yeah. And I mean, I suppose we're in full. I don't know why I'm beating around the bush. They're in full spoilers. That basically he's attempted to kill himself, and he's got a locked-in syndrome.
And that's teased as well from the very start. Like,
yeah.
It's so good.
Really clever once you know what's going on, and all these cases are sort of this mixture of people, like, because in locked-in syndrome you can kind of understand things that are going on around you, so it's this mixture of stuff that he's picking up in this hospital bed to his own guilt, and from this incident that happened when he was a kid where he felt like he could have, like, he didn't directly do anything to actually kill this
so
kid,
horrible,
but he didn't do anything to save him.
That's the bit where I was genuinely like, it's mad that like, they do this horror film with these 3 anthology stories, and the one bit that really like actually scares me to my core was the one bit that was like real.
Yeah. That's
so well done.
Yeah, that's what's so clever about it. That
it made me feel sick, that bit.
Yeah, it did. I was, but it's just done. It was just done so well, and like this idea that at the very end, this cleaner kind of puts a mirror in front of him and goes, "Change the scenery for you," and then in the mirror you see like from his eyesight, like looking into the mirror, like this window, just this frame, and it's really nice frame, like really nicely framed. But we've been seeing that throughout the whole film. Like they kept cutting to that shot, and it's just like I didn't even think like, oh, what's that? I just thought it was just because it was all chopped and changing. It kind of didn't draw too much attention to the fact that they kept putting this shot in. That's the last shot of the film, because it's the only thing he can see from being locked in. But you don't really pick up on it because the film's chopping all over the place.
Yeah, I didn't notice that, actually.
Yeah, it's cut throughout the film. It's really clever, but really sad as well. Like,
it is really sad. Like, as much as like the first sort of 2/3, 3/4 are just quite a lot of. I don't want to say silly because that sounds like an insult, but it's a lot of fun playing with like horror tropes and subverting horror tropes and kind of messing around. And it is really well done. So don't get me wrong about that. But yeah, then it goes to this sort of end bit, which is really like quite visceral, sort of gut punch.
Yeah, it's another level, isn't it? It's another level.
Yeah, I thought maybe a little bit of it was a little bit heavy-handed, sort of expositionally. There's Martin Freeman's character. You find out is he just, to me, it kind of reminded me a bit of the end of a Harry Potter book where Dumbledore explains everything to Harry at the end. And it felt a little. If I had to criticize it, that would be what I'd criticize it on.
Yeah,
because I think I'd kind of already figured it out, and then it kind of explained it. I was like, I think people have already got it. You don't really need to say that.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing. I still think it's very clever, but
no, I think it's very clever. Yeah, I think they've just got that there because you're going to get some people that are dumb and not picking up on it, are they?
Well,
but I thought it was great. Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch some horror films. I'd quite like to see hear what their inspirations were for it, and Because it's
Yeah,
based on a
definitely,
play
yeah.
as well, isn't it? So
Yeah,
their
it's
own
based on
play.
the play that
So
they wrote. Yeah, which sounds really cool. I'd love to go and watch that because I think it could work really well on stage as well. It'd be really interesting
yeah,
to
it'd be
see.
interesting how they do it differently.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I loved that. Loved it. Do you
Go
want to do
and
some
watch it.
feedback?
Yeah, let's do some feedback.
Lost the Google Doc.
Do you want to start?
Andy Nyman. I put in a tweet saying, absolutely loved Ghost Story. And I think I said it's one of my favourite films of the year, and I do stand by that, actually.
Yeah.
And he tweeted me back saying, so pleased, spoiler-free chat, I pray. So thank you for your film, Andy. We did do spoiler-free chat. Then we just ruined it for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyone that's stupid enough to stay around, like we did warn.
True.
20th Century Geek Pod said, just saw Ghost Stories tonight and loved it. So creepy. It has really stuck with me. I'd say the same as well.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to rewatch it and just try and pick up on a few, because I'm sure there's more that I didn't notice.
Yeah, there will be more Easter eggs.
Yeah, so I really like. Yeah, I like that when you pick up on some, and you kind of realize when you get to the end, like, oh, I did see that and I saw that as well. Oh, that's great. But the film, you're also looking at the film going, I'm sure there's more because it's really cleverly done. I'm sure there's more that I didn't pick up on, rather than just going, oh yeah, I'd picked up on it all and that's fine.
Oh, genius.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where I need to write my review for it, and I haven't had a lot of time recently. One, but two, it's one of those ones where I don't just want to write anything about it, like because I'm still kind of trying to figure it out a bit. But I'll write that soon at some point. Ken Major says, Ghost Stories, brilliant. The first story even had me terrified. The first one at parts is the Paul Whitehouse one, isn't it, with the little girl who's his daughter who has locked-in syndrome.
Yeah.
And she's sort of haunting his place of work. It is horrible, that.
Yeah, it's proper creepy.
It is just quite disgusting.
Really uncomfortable. But that one's quite funny as well at the start.
With the Russian guy, and he's just like mildly racist.
Yeah. But I think
he's quite nice to him, which is quite nice. He's got quite sweet relationship where he's like, all right, mate, see you later.
Yeah, and he's like, stupid Russian.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad
Really
everyone else likes it as well.
Yeah, I think if you're a fan of horror, I think you should definitely check this out. And if you're not a fan of horror, definitely go and check it out. Like us, yeah, we enjoyed it. We don't like horror films. Would make me go and watch more horror films and probably be disappointed by them all. There you go, Andy Nyman, put that on the poster. So good, I will watch more horror that I will inevitably be disappointed by because it won't be as good as Ghost Stories.
Do you want to know about one horror that I was not disappointed by, Matt?
Yeah, go on, give me some, lay me down some.
That's a good segue
things.
Into not Ghost Stories. Oh, fuck's it. John Krasinski also did not like horror films, but he made a horror film, Matt.
Even though he's a funny guy.
Even though he's a funny guy, best known for playing Jim on the American version of The Office. Probably the only US adaptation of a British TV show that is actually good. And might actually be better than the original British one. Throw it out there. I think it actually is.
The only one ever. The only TV show that's got a better American remake than the British one.
It's just a good thing of taking what works in the British show, what makes the British one funny, and just doing that rather than trying to... I don't know. Anyway, Jim from The Office, whatever his name is, stars with his wife, Emily Blunt, in A Quiet Place, which is basically where the premise is... And again, if you're interested in watching this, probably turn this off. But basically...
I'm watching it tomorrow, so don't say too much.
They've got to stay quiet or something bad happens. That's the premise. That's all I'll say about that. But it is so good. It is so good. And I don't know if it's a horror or maybe more of a thriller than a horror. There are kind of scary-ish bits in it. But the really great thing about it is that he's sort of created this family dynamic. And it's just nice to see something like a horror film, or when like the world's gone a bit to shit and it's just people trying to help each other through it, and like a family and their kind of relationship and how they deal with this situation. And it just kind of grounds you a lot more to it. Whereas you look at something like The Walking Dead and there's always someone being like a fucking dickhead in the corner. And it's just nice stuff like people are just like, yeah, we're just going to deal with it as we deal with anything.
Yeah.
It's not like someone's gone rogue and started like murdering people, or that you can tell they're the same people after the whatever happened compared to the people like beforehand.
Yeah. It's kind of like The Road. It's like it's
yeah,
a horrible
it
world,
does remind me of The Road, yeah, a bit.
It's like they're just trying to survive. They're good people just trying to live in this horrible world. There's no motive of saving the world because there's no saving the world. There's no thing of going, we need to go and kill those guys because those guys are bad. It's just we're trying to survive this horrible
It is quite
situation.
reminiscent. It's not as bleak as The Road.
Nothing's as bleak as The Road.
No. There are kind of moments of kind of levity in it, but it's just so well done. Like the concept is really interesting as well, and the way kind of like the two leads as well as the kids kind of act it and kind of manage to get their characters across in basically almost a mute script is really impressive, and it just shows how well like Krasinski's written and directed this film. But that's one of my favorite films of the year as well, actually. So I won't go any further because just go and see it. But I really, really, really liked it a lot, and it's pretty impressive for John Krasinski. I think he's done 2 other films that haven't really made any sort of impact, and this is his 3rd. But I guess it's like similar to Jordan Peele. It's just gone straight into like a genre film with sort of a concept and just kind of gone with it, which is really good.
Yeah, well, I remember. I'm sure. I think it was on IGN as well. Like John Krasinski saying, like, "Yeah, I come from comedy, and comedy's all about timing, and kind of horror's about timing as well."
Yeah.
So there are like, although you'd think these two things are so far apart, there kind of are similarities between them as well.
Yeah.
In terms of structuring like a story and kind of a scene and everything in terms of beats.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna go and watch it tomorrow. So
good.
Yeah. What's coming out soon? Rob? Anything apart from Avengers? You want to watch?
It's a good question, actually.
Just trying to think. There's nothing coming up really.
Put me in it there, haven't you?
Yeah, I was wondering if you knew of anything.
I don't have anything
that we could say.
No, I don't really have much. I don't have much on till Avengers, so.
No, but Avengers, that's a week on Wednesday. Well, Thursday, but midnight Wednesday. I'm sure we'll be doing a big podcast on that, won't we? So.
Yes, we will, I think. I'm so excited for that.
I am as well, yeah.
I keep every now and again to watch the trailer, I'm just like, even like the soundtrack on the trailer is so good. I'm so glad they've gone back to that theme from the first Avengers. I think it's a really like, it could have been a really iconic theme that they've just not really used enough. For me anyway, but
yeah, I don't know. Have you got any wild speculations you want to lay down now that you can be embarrassed with later?
I did this. This popped up on my Facebook the other day when I shared my predictions for the Last Jedi. Yeah, none of them were right.
What about your Civil War ones? Were any of them right?
I can't remember actually. I think we're going to lose a few people, aren't we?
Yeah,
I'm really curious to see what Hawkeye is. He's the thing that's really interesting me actually, because obviously it's been left out of all.
You and the rest of the internet. Where's Clint?
But it's obviously not an oversight, is it? It's obviously like Luke in Episode 7. They're just not putting him in because whatever he's doing is so secretive. So if he gets like offed from the start, is what I think might happen. But then he's got a whole new outfit and stuff, so I'm kind of confused.
Did you see what the Russo brothers posted? It was like this weird interview with, I don't know if it was like mocked up or real or what, but it was like 2 pictures of Jeremy Renner, like as in screenshots of him talking. And one was like, everyone's just here asking like, where's Clint? Where's Clint? Why does no one ask, how's Clint?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I do kind of think there's something there. He's got a big role and it could be an early death.
Dying.
Yeah. But then he has got this whole new look, which seems kind of pointless if they've given him this whole new like Ronin look.
I kind of feel like if he was going to die straight away, at least they would have tried to mislead us a bit more.
Yeah,
like I think they would have put him in.
So that's why I'm really interested to see why is he not in it? Why is he like? Yeah. It feels like for once, unless it is just like he's just not in it, like Luke in Episode. It's nothing clever. Yeah. It's just he's not in it until Avengers 4, which is probably what's going to happen. But
it does kind of feel like maybe the filmmakers and the marketing team are actually working together on this one. Do you know
Yeah,
where
it
usually
does.
it's just like marketing, just get the
Spider-Man
footage.
Homecoming. Here's the film.
Yeah,
We just
yeah,
took
just
out
get
all the
what they
bits you
want.
don't need to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think some people are going to die. It's going to be good.
I think
I'm looking
it'd be
forward to
Tony or
seeing
Steve
some
on it, and I don't know.
maybe some more.
I think Tony or
Maybe
Steve,
one
one
of
of them will definitely go.
Maybe one of the Guardians or something.
I'm not bothered about them. I feel like if Tony or Steve
No,
go
not-
like in a really emotional scene, that's gonna get me.
Yeah, I'm not bothered, but like about the Guardian, one of the Guardians dying. But I realised as well, rewatched a bit of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 last night. The film's not very good, is it? Like,
I don't think it stands up well. I think it's fine.
no, I don't think it's fine. I think that might. The more I've watched it, the more I think that's genuinely probably one of the worst
I think
Marvel films.
the humor kind of papers over it, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's some really
The end's really
bad. There's some really poor exposition as well.
yeah,
Like really bad.
yeah.
But no, I don't know.
Everyone's saying like, "Oh, Heimdall's gonna die." I'm like, who gives a shit if Idris Elba wanted to die about 4 films ago, mate?
Yeah.
Loki, I think
Yeah, but it
Loki will
wasn't
go.
doing so well.
I think Loki will go in a heroic way.
Yeah, but they've kind of already done that. Like,
But I don't think they'll do it. I think they won't. I think they might actually do it this time.
do it for real.
I don't think he could go out without redeeming himself.
No,
I think that leaves like a bitter taste on people's
I
palates.
think he kind of has a little bit redeemed himself, I suppose.
Yeah,
and-
but I don't feel like. I feel like there's a shot, isn't there, in the trailer where he's sort of holding the Tesseract,
Yeah, yeah.
and you think if he hands it over to Thanos and then gets killed, and someone dies because of that, that might
Yeah,
happen. But I think he will maybe redeem himself again before that.
I hope
don't
he
know.
does, yeah.
I kind of
I
hope
feel
he's-
almost like when you see that shot of him with the Tesseract, it's kind of like he's terrified. I think he's
Yeah, no, yeah, I
not giving it
think
over willingly. I think he's just because you see him like you see Thanos like squeezing Thor's head as well. Maybe
Yeah.
it's a give me that or
Yeah, yeah, it probably is actually. Yeah,
he gets it sort of thing. But that's
it's hard. It's hard.
I don't want to think too much about it.
Yeah,
'cause I'm just so
somewhere.
excited to see what's going to happen. I don't want to predict anything too much for myself, but
Yeah, I usually have like an idea of what's going to happen.
yeah, I
not
do
really-
kind of like. I do think Scarlet Witch is going to have a big part to play, maybe in this or 4.
Yeah.
I think she will eventually be the one that takes down Thanos.
Do you reckon?
So I think she's the only one powerful enough to,
Yeah, Doctor Strange is going to have a big role, I think.
if she could hone her powers.
Her
she
powers
could-
come from one of the stones, don't they?
Exactly, yeah. So she
Yeah,
has
it makes sense.
the stones within her, and if Vision's been either killed or compromised because he has the stone taken out of his head, then she might be a bit annoyed. So that'd be
Maybe.
interesting to see what
Yeah. Yeah.
what is there. If Thanos destroys half the universe, that'll be interesting.
I want to know why he's interested in only destroying half of the universe. I hope
Because
they come up-
you still need somewhere to live, don't you? You need somewhere to chill,
True.
to kick back with the
I'm
boys.
really excited to see like what his
open some
what his
cold
story
ones.
is actually.
Yeah, right.
Like, the
because
Russos
it's
keep saying
straight-
this is a Thanos' film.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of
Just-
interested to see if they actually stand by that or they're just saying that to make it sound interesting.
Yeah, I can't see the Russo brothers lying and trying to manipulate people and stuff. So it's gonna be good. Why is Hat signing like a monkey in the background? Did she used to do the sign for food?
Yeah. My dinner's
Taught her
ready.
well. What's she doing? She's distracting me. I'm trying
Get out of the way.
to be professional on podcast.
There you
Your
go.
wife's getting in the way. Anything else you want to talk about?
Bonfire to Boss Matt.
Oh yeah, Bonfire to Boss. We've just done Wolnir, big skeleton dude.
Yep.
So I'm
That'll
going
be
to edit a bit of that now, actually. Not too much so, because I'm going to bed early.
So am I. Tired.
But I'm going to edit some of that. Hopefully get that up tomorrow, potentially. So it'll be out before this podcast, actually. So it'll be out right now as you listen to this. So go over and head over there and watch that. I've just released the first in our new series of playing the free games with PlayStation Plus users. I'm playing Mad Max. I meet a mutant called Chum Bucket, who I mistakenly think is called Cum Bucket at one point. He's not. It's called Chum Bucket. And I meet a dog as well, which is quite cool.
Good.
I like,
Is that
I like
better?
the dog. Yeah, the dog's better. So yeah,
Obviously.
watch that. Sam Hardman messaged me and said he thought that was a good video, and he likes the idea of the series.
Just
so
good.
you guys might as well.
Did you just play this, like the way you did this? You just played it for half an hour and recorded.
Yeah.
I've done this a very different style to you, but it's fine.
You're an idiot.
I played. I did Trackmania Turbo, which is not a game that's that interesting for half an hour to watch someone else play. To be honest.
No, I suppose not.
So I've just made a few minutes on that, but
that's
all you need.
Yeah, we'll do that when you're putting yours up next week.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah,
do it next week. Edit. Lazy.
And edit this podcast. Jesus.
Oh, it's easy. There's nothing you cut out. Just put it out. It's all gold.
Cut all the awkward silences, which nobody will have heard.
There's no awkward silences.
Yeah, because I've edited them out. Jeez.
No, because we're so dynamic and charismatic. It's fine. Where can people find us, Rob?
Twitter @realfilm_movies. Facebook Real Film Movies. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Instagram. Don't know what that is. Don't know why I started saying that because Instagram's getting pretty good though. It's pretty good now on Instagram at the moment. Behind the scenes peeks at Bonfire to Boss.
It's fresh, isn't it? It's fresh on Instagram.
Get some good stories. If you listen to this podcast not on a subscription app or platform, go on your thing on your phone, click on podcasts, and just hit subscribe. That would be helpful. And if you've listened and you liked it, we would love a review because we want to get more listeners. So that'd be nice.
Yeah, because if you like it, other people might like it too. Generally speaking, you and your friends have similar taste in things. So if you like it, they might like it, or your mum might like it.
Yeah, just show it to someone else.
Yeah.
Stick out
Give
your
it
phone
to your mum,
listen to this. Or just get people's phones and just go on their podcast app, just hit subscribe.
That's it. I might start doing that actually at parties.
Yes.
Just like, should we do that at Claire's, our sister's 21st?
Yeah.
Get everyone's phones and subscribe to our own podcast.
Yeah, so I got 2 people to subscribe at work today, so.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. They definitely want
very
listen,
nice,
but it's fine.
Yeah, it still counts.
It's all about them analytics.
Yeah, it's not about actual listeners. It's about numbers.
We don't have anywhere. We don't even have enough numbers to even be relevant, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's all
Probably
good.
need 5,000 listeners per episode to be financially viable.
We are about 4,970 off that, so that's all good. Nearly there.
On a good day.
All right, guys. Thanks for all the feedback. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for listening.
All our stuff, and we'll see you soon. Stop recording.
See, it's awkward silence. I'm going to leave that one in.
Why?
Just to prove that they happen. And it makes me look like I've worked harder by editing them all out. So
the boiler in, weren't any?
There we go. That's the end now. Goodbye.